Okay, y'all. Okay. One thing I wanted to talk about today was the present moment and how time doesn't exist. All of time exists in the present moment. Now we have this thing called time that we have that is a human construct, and collectively we all agree to time so that we can plan for the future or we can refer back to the past. However, as individual souls who have incarnated into an individual body with an individual purpose and individual path, as it pertains to our selves, time does not exist. The future and the present can only be referred to. It can only be relative to the present moment. We can only imagine the future here right now. We can only remember, bring memories from the past into the present moment. But the only thing we can actually truly experience is right here and right now. So when it comes to different identities, when it comes to our future selves, different versions of ourselves, I'm using that word colloquially, I don't know if that's the right word, or how you pronounce it, all of it exists right now. And so the present moment, because we are living it, it is alive, is the only place where our stream of consciousness or awareness or focus can exist. And when it comes to choosing any particular identity or choosing any particular timeline, it's really about focusing on that timeline. Now, when we fall out of that focus, when we fall back asleep, when we get out of that awareness, it doesn't cease to exist. It still exists. But it feels less real to us. It feels less real to us. But that doesn't mean it's not real. Just because I can't see it, just because I'm not aware of it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Everything is already manifested. Everything already exists. Any timeline you could possibly think of exists. Now, because there is a certain timeline that seems better, that seems like the ideal, that is in your awareness, perhaps as an imagination, perhaps as a dream, that means that it is relevant to where you are in the present moment. So, of course, it is possible. In fact, it exists just as much as your present reality exists. Now, the tricky part, or I guess the challenging part, is to not fall victim to this current reality. However, we do need to be aware of it and be present with our current reality. Work with our current circumstances. And be honest with ourselves, with no judgment whether this situation is good or bad. It just is. Just like this higher timeline that you are dreaming of. Excuse me. Now, the other piece to this, the other side of this polarity, is the timelines that we hope don't happen. The timelines that are not in our highest ideal, not in our highest vision. Well, what happens when we're focusing on that? Well, you're making it real for yourself in the present moment. That is the timeline that you are being present with, that you are calling into your present circumstance. And often we overfocus or overthink this negative timeline because there is a circumstance that we have to deal with in the present reality, that perhaps we're not actually being present with that problem. So instead, our mind is making up a worse scenario down the road and trying to daydream that away, trying to manifest that away. When in reality, we really just need to be present, not reactive to our current circumstances, but to be responsive, to be responsible to the present reality. This reality exists just as much as your highest timeline. And if you're avoiding being present in this current timeline, avoiding being responsible in this current timeline, you're also avoiding being responsible in that higher timeline. Because they are both just as real. So if you're stuck, or if you feel stuck, no one's ever truly stuck. The present moment is always moving, it's always shifting, it's always everywhere all at once. But if you feel stuck, like you're trying to manifest something different, something better than what is now, we have to take that higher timeline, that better timeline, off of the pedestal. Because it exists here right now, as your current reality does, even if it doesn't look like it. And this brings me to, we cannot be fooled by our physical senses, whether that be our sight, our ears, and even our mind, our thoughts. Our thoughts are just information. And when I say our thoughts are just information, it's not the content of the thoughts per se that is right or wrong, but it is the belief underneath them that is the information that will be valuable to you in order to be responsive to your current timeline, responsive to your current circumstances. And that is how we tap into our intuition. That is how we tap into the clarity, the knowing of what to do next. In reality, there's never anything to do. It's just who you are being, and observing all that is. Observing all that could possibly be. What is the common denominator between this current circumstance, this current reality, and the higher timeline or reality? It's you. It's me. It's us. It's the observer. It's the one who is aware of it. There's only two truths. They go hand in hand. That is the I am, who I say I am, and the present moment. You can't get out of the present moment. You're always in it. It is always moving. Anyway, your highest timeline is promised. It's just up to you to decide that it is. By being responsive, by being responsible, by living in all of yourself in your current timeline. Because it will move, it will shift, it will be present with you. When you are present with whatever current reality is being presented to you. And that is what manifestation is really about. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you for listening.